I don't mean to take this a longer day for you. Got so much hardware strapping you down. But it's been an incredibly long time since we've spoken. Far too long. Far too long.
Yeah.
A lot has transpired since the last time we spoke. In fact, I'm going to say it's been almost a year since you and I have gotten together for these conversations, and a lot's been said in the meantime. So we got to check some boxes, man.
Do what you got to do, baby. What's up?
First of all, beating Danny Garcia. It's a big night in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And there was criticism at the end of that fight about the last 3 rounds. Did you take them off? Did you cruise? How did you feel? I know that you're happy with your performance, but how did you feel in the aftermath hearing that kind of criticism?
Yeah, let's talk. So one of my favorite comments, I can care less what a lot of other people say, but one of my favorite comments is Danny Garcia, right? So Danny Garcia was like, yo, man, Thurman, he didn't throw any punches. Well, first off, man, I'm going to have to school you in the ring, and I'm going to have to school you outside of the ring, all right? Because when I throw punches, it's like a mathematical equation. You want to say how many punches I threw, but check how many punches you threw, homie, because I always outpunched you. Even the commentators were saying Thurman's not that active, but he currently has thrown more punches than Danny Garcia. What's that, 10th, 11th round? Recap it, my boy, recap it. If you really want to beat me, up the punch count. But guess what? As soon as you up the punch count, I'm up at the punch count because I'm going to stay above you. Danny Garcia is not hard to outwork. Sean Porter is a harder fighter to outwork. Danny Garcia is not hard to outwork. Even without working, he got outworked. You feel me? So I don't got to do nothing if you ain't motherfucking doing nothing.
That said,
What's next?
That said, I don't think anyone had any doubts that you won that fight or could win a rematch. So they were looking to see.
One judge was tripping, but okay. What's good?
But a lot of people were thinking, okay, well, maybe now we get the rematch with Porter. As you said, he's a tougher fight. You guys scrapped right down to the very last minute. Why not Porter in that moment?
What do you mean?
Like, why after the fight? Obviously, you haven't fought since. So I want you to, in your own words, talk about what happened. I know there's an injury, all these things. Like
injury,
what?
Man. So I was injured during the fight, before the fight. I wasn't going to talk about it because I don't want him to know what my body's going through. I want him to be under the influence that he's one-time Thurman is as good and as strong as he's always has been. But I knew about my injury in the fight, and that actually was one of the small reasons of me lowering my punch count and manipulating the situation, in the way that I did. So I was actually a little disappointed with my performance, but overall, subsequent to the scenario, I'm happy with my performance because I did what I needed to do to win. And right after, I knew I was going to have surgery. I cannot fight another fight with that injury on me. I would ruin my career. I had loose bodies floating around. They're bone against bone busting into tendons and ligaments and creating a whole bunch of painful and unwanted, unnecessary inflammation. I had surgery here in New York at the HSS hospital, and the recovery has been a long one, a slow one, but 2018, we're going to be back in action.
When you were on Showtime and you were asked about fighting Errol Spence, you said, well, not now, maybe not this year. I want to have a tough fight like that to start. There's a lot of criticism there, too. People like, oh, Thurman's scared. Thurman's ducking him. How did you respond to that, and why are they wrong?
All right, so boxing is not a team sport, right? So let's just say that, because it's happened, let's just say that Kobe Bryant comes off of an injury, right? And they say, yo, Kobe, we want you to do a one-on-one against KD. You know what I'm saying? So, like Kevin Durant, why would he want to do a one-on-one exhibition when he just came off of injury? And normally he can perform, but he can perform because he can rely on his team. Boxing is not a team sport. I cannot come off of an injury and go to the top of the ladder, Luckily, I am at the top. No matter what position I am in, I would hold my position before trying to expand my position. So 2018, we're coming back. We're holding our position. We can possibly have a big fight. Arguably, the Sean Porter rematch. Arguably, there's enough drama to do a Danny Garcia rematch. I don't know what's going to happen later this year. I know I'm going to be fighting May 19th. I'm going to be getting back into action. I want something big to happen later, but Errol Spence and expanding outside of this unification into another unification just is not going to happen this year. I know that. The fans might not understand it, but that's just the way it is.
How will you know when you're ready?
I need fight twice this year. After that, I'm ready.
Radio Raheem with one-time Keith Thurman. We'll see you in the ring at least twice this year, and hopefully in 2019 we'll see you against Errol Spence for the unification.
That's right.
Radio Raheem with Keith, one-time Thurman.